bad. But Mark does not like to be in awkward situations in public, and he has already told her he doesn't like it when she makes things awkward. But she goes and she starts talking about Mark while she's in the toilets and starts screaming and saying really mean things about him, about his house, about how he is in bed, about how he is as a person. Just really personal things you shouldn't say about someone who you claim to love and you are on TV talking about. It was just so disrespectful. And Mark could hear the whole thing because he was outside speaking to Chris and actually speaking about the situation in a calm way. Then after the next episode, Lindsay expects Mark to give an apology. Why does he have to apologize? What has he really done? She was the one who was out of line. And even if he does have to apologize, surely she should apologize first for her behavior. Lindsay doesn't see that anything she's doing is wrong. I think at this point, Mark needs to understand that if Lindsay is not willing to learn and grow, and every time he tells her that something upsets her and she doesn't take it on board, and she makes it about herself and how much she's tried to be there for him, then he needs to just run. There is nothing for him in this relationship. I think Pastor Cal even tried to explain to her about how she makes him feel, and she really wasn't seeing it. I just don't think Lindsay is ready to be in a relationship at the moment. I think she might need to work a little bit on herself and anything she's going through before she starts being with someone else, because at this point, it's not going to work. Let me know in the comment section if you agree. Also, let me know if there's any other thing you want me to focus on when it comes to Married at First Sight or any other show that you're watching at the moment.
Sexual relations, I don't even care for that right now. And this is the first time in a long time I'm really gonna try to get to know somebody. So mentally, I think I might judge.
We shouldn't really call anyone abusive because it's a very big word. But when it comes to Elijah Wan and Katina, we are starting to see examples of emotional abuse. There is something about Elijah Wan and the way he speaks to Katina and the things he expects from her that makes her feel so small. It's very hard to watch the whole thing because she just shrinks and she doesn't seem like she can stand up for herself because he's such a big personality and all he does is command and demand and tell her everything he expects. He's never once said anything about himself and what he expects himself to bring to this relationship. We don't really see anything he brings to this relationship. He expects her to be this 1950s housewife who cooks and cleans, but he's not trying to be the 1950s man who goes around trying to provide. So it's very confusing because Katina has a job. I'm not quite sure why he needs her to be so domesticated and be this pin-up version of a wife that he's had in his mind. She's a real person and he's not speaking to her like she's a real person. He's speaking to her like she is some sort of plaything or some sort of doll that he's going to try and mold to be this perfect wife for him. So I'm not feeling Elijah Wan at all. I think these experts have made a really big mistake by putting him in this situation at all. He is not ready to love anyone. He's not ready to be in a marriage at all. It's really uncomfortable to see a man be so bold to the point where he's literally going around acting like he's bullying this woman. It's very uncomfortable to watch. It's only going to become more comfortable if Katina stands up for herself. And yes, she can stand up for herself because at first we saw that she was very loud and she was bold and she was outspoken, but it seems like the more she stays with Elijah Wan, the more she shrinks herself. She is becoming less vocal, and most times when he speaks to her, it's almost like he's speaking to his child or something, and she just kind of agrees and looks down and says that she's going to do better, but she's never once required him to do better as a man. She's never once told him these are the things he could be doing better. These are the things he could be showing that he loves her. He needs to meet her halfway. She's never required him to do anything. So at this point, it's just coming across like Elijah Wan is giving a lot of examples of what emotional abuse can look like. I'm not sure if he's there yet, but he's surely getting there because the way he's acting is very out of line. And someone needs to come and interject because this is all sorts of wrong. And yes, we like drama, but we also don't want to see people showing traits of abuse on screen. We don't want to see women looking like they're very much shrinking themselves and looking like they can't even speak.
I don't want your heart to be broken. I do not want her hurt.
So we have Lindsay showing these examples of control and manipulation and gaslighting. Then we have Elijah One doing the same thing. And now we have Jasmina doing the same thing as well. Like, this show needs these experts to really take a good, hard look at themselves and think about why they have thought these people are ready to be in marriages. Because so far, they don't look like it. They've not shown an ounce of understanding or compassion or love for their significant other. They talk about how they've done a lot of things for them and how they've gone out of their way, but they haven't really. All these things that they've done have been very self-serving. Jasmina, for example, she comes across like she's this lovely, beautiful, wonderful woman, but it's been very disappointing to see her on screen treat Michael very badly. Yes, I'm aware all of these things could be an edit, but for the edits we are seeing, she's not coming across well. She always says Michael has a tone with her, but we've never seen Michael have a tone with her. In all these episodes we've had, there's not been one moment where Michael has had a tone with Jasmina. The only person who's had a tone is her. She's the only person who cuts him off. She's the only person who gets really aggressive when he starts speaking and even just talks about things like how to communicate with each other better. He just wants to understand her. She gets really, really angry and worked up. She needs to work on herself as well. She needs to go away and just think about what she wants from a relationship. Think about who she is as a person and think about why she gets so triggered every time a man tries to speak to her and tries to understand her, because this won't go well in terms of any relationship in the future. And as this relationship now, forget it. It's not going anywhere. Michael can't even speak to her without her getting angry. So there is no point, because we can tell for sure they're going to say no to each other. She doesn't even seem like she likes this guy, which is very, very disappointing, because at first she came across like she was very open and willing to get to know him and very loving. But as soon as a few episodes started to unravel, we saw that she really was not feeling Michael. Yes, Michael has told a few white lies. Yes, Michael has been a bit argumentative at times, but I've not seen any examples of him being kind of manipulative or gaslighting or just being aggressive towards her. I've not seen these examples of his tone. If you've seen them, please let me know in the comment section. But all I've seen is Jasmina be nothing but quite mean to Michael, actually. It's getting to the point where if she's not going to give him a chance, why is she even on this show? There is literally no reason to why she's on this show if she can't even be nice to him. She's been nice to him on like a few episodes. When they've had family and friends around, she's kind of shown her nice side, which is making it seem like she does this for show. She's nice to Michael for show when other people are around, or when she's aware that it's a TV show, so she now needs to act like she's nice. Part of me feels like this is all about how she's not attracted to Michael, she's not compatible with Michael, there are things about Michael she just doesn't like, and that is okay. I can give her grace in that department. There is no one saying she needs to be with Michael if she doesn't feel the love, but she just needs to be honest and let him know and then walk away from the show, rather than constantly telling him that there's a problem with his tone. Jasmina for sure is the less of the evils when it comes to the way Elijah One and Lindsay are acting. They're acting very, very aggressive and controlling and manipulative. And Jasmina is not giving off that vibe. So I am sure many people aren't seeing that Jasmina is being problematic. But if you really take a step back and watch all the episodes, you will see that the way she's treating Michael is just wrong.
But at, getting a little older, I wasn't sure if that would happen.
Were you expecting me to live in a van by the river?
You kind of did do that.
Steve and Noi are having their own sorts of drama. We have Noi walking away from Steve after the whole noodle gate. Yes, she was not making his noodles the way he wanted. He said something. She walked away for 24 hours and did not reply his messages or his phone calls, and then came back and said it wasn't really that much of a big deal, till he had to explain to her, no, Noi, it is a big deal. You do not just do that to someone. That is not the way relationships work. This could stem from maybe Noi has not had a lot of relationships, maybe a bit of immaturity, and her brother did say she likes the chase. So maybe she did like a man just chasing her, and she just wanted Steve to show that he really loves her. Maybe. But what she did was all types of wrong, and she needs to do better. But so far, Steve and Noi have had the most stable relationship. Out of everyone else's toxic relationships, they have the most calm relationship. Can you believe it? Even after Noodlegate. Steve does need to let Noi know though, does he have a job lined up? Is he going to start working? Does he have any savings? Because she really is worried about their future. And I don't think she's going to calm down till he explains to her his financial situation. So for this to work, they need to have that conversation and Noi needs to stop walking away.